Plaintiff, Dee Heights, is suing her son's ex-fiancée for unpaid loans, traffic tickets, and truck damages. Dee says she treated the defendant like her own daughter and even took her into her home when she claimed that she was abused by her mother. Defendant Samantha Peschel denies owing Dee for the amount she's suing for because she says both she and Dee's son acquired the tickets on the car and the loans were for both of them.
All right, Dee Heights is suing Samantha Peschel, her son's ex-fiancée, for unpaid loans, unpaid tickets, and truck damages. Talk to me, Dee.
Yes, Your Honor. My son Cody started dating Sammy in 2006, and he brought her home early on in the relationship, and that's when I met her, and I thought, wow, this is a gorgeous girl. Beautiful grandkids, you know. And
How old is Cody?
Cody is 20.
Okay, boy, she works fast, huh?
I just have this, I want grandkids.
Okay. Is he your oldest son?
Yes.
Your oldest child?
He is my only son.
Okay, all right, so you're it.
You're it.
Okay.
She was still living at the home at her house when I first met her.
Mm-hmm.
And what the initial reason why she moved in with me was I had gotten a call from her quite a few months after her and my son were dating, and she was claiming that her mom was abusing her. And that's at that time I called the abuse hotline, and they referred everything to a social worker, and he asked me if I would provide a safe place for her temporarily. And that's how it initially came to be, where her living with me.
All right, Samantha, what were the conditions of, you know, at your home that the social worker was looking for another place for you to live? What was going on in your own home?
My mom and I would fight, and it would get physical. She would touch me, she'd hit me, she'd throw me over a bed, and Dee was a second mom to me. And I thought I could trust her, so when everything started happening with my mom, I called Dee.
What kind of injuries did she have, Dee?
She had bruises here. It looked like her mother either punched her, or she had like bruises here.
In her chest area?
Yes, and on her arms. So
Okay.
I totally believed her. And because I was, like I said, I loved her as a daughter.
Do you still believe that that's what happened, that the mother was abusing her?
Yes. Yes.
What would you fight with your mother about, Samantha?
It was everything. I don't know, she didn't like the grades I was getting in school. I don't know if me and Cody weren't getting along at the time, you know, she would get mad. I don't even really recall. It was just over stupid stuff. Like if I didn't do the dishes, or, you know, she'd get mad, and we just have a big blowout fight over it.
Was your mother, did she ever get into trouble with Child Protective?
She had to go to counseling, but that's all I really know.
Did you have a father in the house?
No, I had a stepdad, but he worked second shift, so he wasn't home at night.
So how are we here today?
My son decided to go to Chicago for college for a diesel mechanic. And because they were together at the time that he applied for college, they made plans to move to Chicago together. And initially when they first moved to Chicago, I gave her $300 just for cash, you know, and then, like, there was one time she broke down and I had to purchase a battery for the car. I mean, items like that.
Mm-hmm.
Down the road, she was driving my vehicles and she would pass the toll and not pay the toll. And my son would do it also. He got tickets also for when you go through the toll and you don't pay, they charge you big.
When you loaned her the money, did you get a promise that she would pay you back? What
Yes.
was it?
Yes.
Did you agree to pay her back?
That $300, I do not remember.
Okay, what were the circumstances of the $300? What was it? What did it surround?
It was when she first moved to Chicago, and she said that once she gets a job, she would help. And
Did she ask you for $300?
Yes.
Cody, were you there when she asked your mother for $300?
Yes, I was.
Okay, step up to the plate. How old are you now, Cody?
I'm 20 years old.
Okay, were you there when Samantha asked your mother for $300?
Yes, I was.
And what did Samantha ask it for?
I think it was just regarding, try to buy some things, get the apartment going. So she turned to
Okay, so
mother.
what did Sammy say regarding the $300?
I do not recall, but it was some along the lines, when I get on my feet, get a job in Chicago, I'll reimburse you.
Okay, did you feel any obligation to start to pay this woman off?
Yeah, I did, but at the time, we couldn't afford it. There was times where I had to go to Plato's Closet and sell my clothes just so me and Cody could have milk for cereal the next morning. Like, he had money from selling stuff, but, I realized I was going to move down there, a couple weeks before it. I didn't have any money saved up there. I just moved down there because I loved him.
Cody, what do you have to say about this?
It's accurate. We moved down there, pretty much started off with nothing. Like she said, I had some funds, to buy some some necessities to live on. About 9 months after moving to Chicago, Samantha moved out.
Did you get your degree or whatever license you
Yes,
were
I
looking
did.
for?
I
Are you
graduated.
working now?
I'm working for myself. I have my own shop.
Good for you. Good for you. What are you doing now, Samantha?
I waitress at another restaurant full-time, and I'm a full-time assistant manager at Clinky Cleaners. So I have
Okay,
two
so
jobs.
you're making enough money to support yourself?
I'm barely making it by. Now that I have diabetes, it's hard, it's expensive, but yeah, I'm making it by a little bit better than how we were in Chicago.
Do you have health insurance?
Yes, I do, but the co-pays are all on me, and it's very expensive.
Do you have any contact at all with your mother or your father?
I live with my mom, and
Oh, you're back with your mom. Are you sorry? Are you sorry that you moved out?
No. I loved Cody. I wanted to be with him, and I'd do it all over again.
Did you make a complaint to Cody's mom that your mom was abusive towards you because you wanted to move out and be with Cody?
No. It actually, she was abusing me, but Cody used to live with me too. Like when we first started dating, Dee lived in the upstairs of a house, and there was 4 of them, and there wasn't a lot of room, and he was staying with me. So I know that if I didn't live with Dee, we'd still be together. He could come to my house, or I could just stay at his.
Do you still love him?
Yes, I do.
Do you still love her?
In a way, I have love for Sammy still.
What does that mean in a way?
I'm not in love with her, but I have love for her.
Time to move on, Samantha. You okay? You know what's interesting, Samantha, is that very often you find someone who you think is the only man you'll ever love. Let me share something with you as a much older woman. There are many men out there. You are beautiful. I think you're kind. And I think that you understand what life is about, and you would appreciate anything that a man would do for you because you know what the real world's about. You know that you have to sell your clothes to buy milk to have cereal. You know it's tough. Okay? Give yourself a chance. Okay, so how much money did you loan the defendant that you're now seeking to recover?
Okay, the first ones that I'm going to give you are the when you pass through the toll and you get a ticket in the mail.
Okay, how do we know is she driving your vehicle? Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Okay, did you drive her vehicle, Samantha?
Me and Cody took turns, and I was hospitalized with diabetes, and so a lot of the later dates on the Illinois toll was not me, and I do have the dates that I was in the hospital, so I know a lot of those later dates weren't me, but me and Cody did both share the vehicle. Some are from me and some are from him, but there's no way to prove who's from who because it's just a picture of the back license plate.
Okay, so what we've got is a bill to D Heights, and it says that you've got a violation history. When were you hospitalized?
April 17th.
One day?
Well, no, I was hospitalized for a week, but I moved back to Wisconsin after I was hospitalized.
So you're saying you're not responsible for anything after April. Did she move back to Wisconsin after April?
Yes, she did.
Okay, so none of the May stuff counts. All right, so November of 2007 and January of 2008. We've got $127 here for unpaid tickets. So how do we know who's driving the vehicle?
The only time I would have been driving my mother's vehicles was on the weekends because I attended school 6:30, 8:30, Monday through Fridays.
All right. What else are you suing for, Dee?
She, without my permission, drove one of my vehicles. I have 2 trucks.
Mm-hmm.
She drove one of my trucks and unfortunately got in an accident. And this is the damage report and the police report. And she did agree to pay that back as soon as she, like she always says, to get on her feet.
Oh, let's see. We know it's $580. So the question is, who's driving the vehicle? Were you driving the vehicle, Samantha? Why don't you tell me your version of this?
We were driving in a town, and I don't remember where we were going, but we were coming in off a country road, and it curves to the right, and there's a guardrail, and it was winter, and I hit ice, and I hit the guardrail. And after it happened, I called the cops, I got a police report, and I called Dee and told her that it happened.
All right, so you accept responsibility for the damage to the truck.
Yes.
Okay. What else, Dee?
There was one incident where Sammy could not pay her section of the cell bill, and I charged it on my charge card.
Okay. Is that true, Sammy?
I honestly do not recall having Dee pay part of the cell phone bill. She might have, though.
Samantha, were you working at all during this time?
I was waitressing.
Okay. Do you want to say anything else, Cody?
I have nothing more to say.
Sit down then. Mom, anything?
It's very tough because I still care.
Yeah. That's why sometimes, when kids are so young, you kind of keep them home a little bit so, they don't go so far out on a limb that so many people get hurt. But
Sure.
Okay, the issue is whether or not the defendant is liable to the plaintiff for what she says are unpaid loans, unpaid tickets, and property damage. Clearly, if the defendant intentionally or recklessly takes a vehicle that belongs to the plaintiff and has an accident, as between the two of you, it's the driver and the defendant who has to pay for it. The defendant has rightfully admitted that she believes she's responsible. Although she didn't remember the $300 for when she first moved into the apartment in Chicago, I think that when Cody got up, she agreed to it and had a recollection of it. I think that, Cody, you need to recognize that when you get involved with a young woman who feels that she's totally in love with you, you've got to be straight about it and make sure that, people don't get hurt along the way. And Samantha, you will be fine. All right, verdict for the plaintiff. Thank you.